Hi everyone, and welcome to the very first episode of my new vlog. My name is Matty Evans. I'm 29 years old and I live in Bendigo in central Victoria, Australia. I'm just at home outside on what is a very nice Thursday night. It's the Thursday before the Easter long weekend. It's always a very busy time in Bendigo for the Easter long weekend. We've got the Bendigo Easter Festival, which has been running for over 150 years, so that's always an exciting event. I guess the Easter long weekend for everybody, no matter where you are, is just a really good time to have a rest, have a break. It's a good opportunity to catch up with friends, with family, do things, go out for dinner, go to the footy, go to the theatre. Just go away for the weekend and just enjoy some things. Or for some people, it's a really good opportunity to just, reset and do a few things. The Easter long weekend for me, on a personal level, has come at a pretty good time and also at a pretty important time where I'm, in all honesty, I'm struggling in a couple of areas just for motivation and trying to find purpose. And what I'm really hoping to do this long weekend is very much, for me, is to have a productive long weekend where I reset in a number of areas. It'll be a really good opportunity to just tidy up around the house, clean up a few things, reorganize a few spaces. I also want to set some goals for the rest of this year. There's some things I really want to achieve. There's some things I'm really looking forward to, and I really want to start using this long weekend, but also the month of April, to really set myself up to start building some good habits, a really good routine that is designed to help me achieve my goals. I'm really looking forward to this being a very productive long weekend. Looking forward to spend some time with family, hopefully enjoy some of the things that are going on around town. The local footy netball starts as well. And hopefully cap off the long weekend by heading down to Melbourne to watch the Cats and the Hawks at the MCG. I don't back for either one of those teams, but it would be a good game to go to. So it'll be a nice, relaxing, enjoyable and productive Easter long weekend. And we'll see how we go. Very nice. So it's Good Friday. So far, it's been a pretty cruisy morning. Enjoyed a sleep in, which was really nice. Got out of bed at 8:30. Sort of just milled around a bit. Had breakfast. Took the dogs for a walk in the bush, which was really nice. Very fortunate to be very close to the Greater Bendigo National Park, and just very lucky where we live. We live in a suburb called Strathdale, which is essentially 5 minutes away from the CBD of Bendigo. So close to town, but importantly close for where my wife works and where I work. So what I'm doing at the moment is I'm just going to spend some time just with my scrapbook and my notepad and just spend this bit of time to work on some of my goals and just getting my thoughts and ideas out on paper so they're out of my mind onto a piece of paper, or at least out there, so it's real, it's more tangible, and yeah, I can also brainstorm a little bit and work on a bit of a plan on how I'll achieve my goals. So my wife's just gone off to do some umpiring, but I'll head out this afternoon around 2 o'clock to support her, take the dogs with us. Before I crack into doing this planning, I just wanted to share a bit of context as to where I'm at this point and why I'm spending so much time mapping out what my goals are and yeah, what I'm working towards. So for those who know me will be familiar with my story, and those who may have followed me on this platform will be used to the local government content, the time that I was a local councillor, but also people will be familiar that I was a political candidate at a federal election, the most recent one in Australia, and it's been almost a year since then, and yeah, life has taken some interesting turns in that period of time. In a nutshell, it's probably best to start with my story. So I was born in Mount Waverley, grew up in Brighton, in the Bayside suburbs of Melbourne, and yeah, met my wife, who was from Bendigo, and finished at school, went to uni, and then as soon as I finished uni, I did a journalism degree, and once that was done, I moved to Bendigo at the end of 2018, and yeah, have been living in Bendigo in central Victoria ever since. I've predominantly been working in media and comms, as well as in politics. I used to work at one of the local schools in the media and comms role. That was my first full-time job. Got elected to council in 2020 during the pandemic, when we had a very interesting campaign. Really couldn't see anybody. It was just a lot of online stuff, letterboxing as much as we could. That was if the restrictions allowed. So very interesting time. But yeah, got the opportunity to be selected by the community to represent our local ward for 4 years. Got to serve as deputy mayor for 2 of those years. And I've always been really interested in politics, policy more so. I'm more interested in policy than politics itself. I think that politics is the unnecessary evil of policy, and my motivation has always been ensuring that we have good policy, which means good outcomes. Towards the end of my term, I had the opportunity to put myself forward as a candidate for one of the major parties. And yeah, long story short, I ran a campaign that went over 500 days, and we got absolutely smashed. If you're interested in more of the story, there's actually a really good documentary that part of a film festival. My good friend Joshua, who put the documentary together, it was a really good opportunity for me to tell my story. So I'd encourage you to go have a look at that. And yeah, in my view, it was a really honest account of the experience and whatnot. But politics is a big part of my story. It will help explain a few things here and there. And of course, over over the course of this vlog, I want to be able to share bits and pieces of my story and what has led me up until this point. So after the election, I was really unsure of what I wanted to do, and I really hit rock bottom, to be honest. And yeah, I guess the dream that I had was absolutely shattered by the reality of the situation. The numbers don't lie; they don't tell the full story, but it's pretty clear that the contest was between 2 people and we were out of the hunt. There are things that I take responsibility for, and there were things that we should have done, but there were things that we did do well for the limited resources that we had. So all in all, it's a very brutal yet very humbling experience. And so, yeah, for a couple of months after the federal election, I was really trying to work out what I wanted to do. I took the rest of May off because when you campaign for that long, it takes it out of you, and the result itself has its own little impact. I was trying to work out what I wanted to do. And one of the things that sort of came up was to do a vlog and to really go hard on media and content creation, and really yeah, to have plans to start a business in this space. And it was something that I had shelved previously, but this was probably the best opportunity. But eventually there was an opportunity that came up there was this media role at one of the local real estate agencies here in Bendigo. And I looked at it and I thought, this would be an interesting job. It looks like it would be more like a hands-on job in media. Thankfully, I put my resume in and got a call pretty quickly from Dan, who was the team leader at the time. And one thing led to another. And all of a sudden I had a job working and doing real estate media. I was really nervous initially, but just the way I was coached and supported by not just Dan, but also Aidan, who I work with as well. Yeah, just the opportunity to just learn everything about what it takes to put content together, just the technical skills and the possibilities. So yeah, it was part of a really, really good team, a really good system. We got some team members based overseas who are really good photo editors and video editors as well. So good to know and meet them. What I learned in this role is just what's possible with content creation, but also it's really sparked a want or a desire to make content and make the vlog. So this is probably my third or fourth crack at putting a vlog together. In the past, I've tried to go for perfection straight away, and I'm pretty much a perfectionist, and that's been my downfall. But this time around, I'm determined just to have a go. And the fact that I'm just shooting this on the phone, I'm borrowing a mic from work, I've decided that I'm not going to let perfect be the enemy of the good. I just want to get going, have a crack. There's a really good creator, Kate is her name. I watched one of her videos recently, and it talks about the 5 different stages of being on the journey to being a full-time content creator. And who knows, my goal could ultimately be a full-time content creator, but one of the stages was being a consumer. And then the next stage is being a hobby content creator. I watched that video thinking, wow, I have spent so much time in the consumer phase. It's time for me to go to the next level. So it starts this Easter long weekend in line with tidying everything up and making sure that we're all good to go. And yeah, I'm going to be making the month of April a month where I just work really hard on setting things up for where I want to be heading. Wasn't the most perfect explanation of where I'm at. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to crack into some brainstorming. It's time to turn some of this into action. So it's Easter Sunday. It's a nice cool morning, and yeah, I'm just up early going for a little walk. You'll know that I completely skipped Easter Saturday. That's because it was just one of those days where I just really, I guess I couldn't be bothered. I was just really tired. I think the week has finally caught up on me, and yeah, just had a pretty restful day. Didn't really do much. Had a really big sleep in again. Watched a bit of Friday Night SmackDown, and yeah, I did tidy up my room and gave some of the spaces a bit of a dust, but really haven't cracked into some of the stuff that I said I was going to do. So reorganising my study, cleaning the house, mowing the lawn. So hopefully I'll get to a few of those things today. What I've realised is that where I've gone wrong in the past is I try to do everything all at once, and while the motivation's there, but just decided that it's probably better to pace these things over. Still get them done, but pace them over time. I'm just going to finish up my walk. I'm going to get home, have some breakfast. Once my wife's up, we'll go take the dogs for a walk, and then try and crack into one of those things. Hopefully pop into the Easter Parade, the main parade this afternoon. Come home, watch the footy. The Dees are playing the Gold Coast Suns, and do a few bits and pieces and get started on editing this video. So yeah, hopefully we'll get back on track today. Well, good morning. It's Easter Monday. It's been a bit of rain this morning, which I wasn't expecting. I was more anticipating that it was going to come later in the day. Yeah, the change of the season. It's been quite warm, and we're now getting into that real autumn weather, which personally, I don't mind. In fact, I always like autumn and spring. It's not too hot, but it's not too cold either. Yeah, yesterday was a really fun day. Had a really enjoyable day. Just going for that walk first thing just got me going. Just a bit of movement and a bit of exercise to start the day. Going for another walk once my wife got up and we took the dogs for a walk. And yeah, they always enjoy a nice walk in the morning. Went over to my parents-in-law's and catch up with my sister-in-law and her partner. And yeah, we all caught up for a coffee, a takeaway coffee from the drawing room. Yeah, there was a little bit of an Easter egg hunt, which is good fun, even at my age. Went home for a bit, got ready, and then we headed into town to watch the parade. And yeah, just good to see so many people around enjoying the parade, so many families. And the parade itself was quite cool. It's always great to see the different groups from across the community. Got home, watched the footy, and yeah, the Dees were fantastic. They were great to watch. You always feel quite good when your team wins, but the way that Melbourne are playing at the moment, it's hard not to be pretty happy about that. So yeah, just really refreshing to see them play a different way, and yeah, to really take it up to a really good team in the Gold Coast Suns. So that was really good. And then yeah, we all went out for dinner at Borcelli's in town. I had the gnocchi, which was really nice. So ahead of today, we'll be heading down to Melbourne to the MCG to watch the Cats and the Hawks. So we'll take the train down. Hopefully the trains are reliable today. But yeah, that should be our Easter Monday. In terms of the long weekend as a whole, going in, I really wanted to focus on a few things. The first thing I wanted to focus on was thinking about my goals and resetting my goals and being very clear on what it is that I want to do and want to achieve, and working out a routine and a system on how to achieve those goals. I've got a clearer idea of what I want to achieve and how I'm going to achieve it. It's actually now about getting on with the job and actually committing to doing it. And I think the key word that I've picked up on when I've read improvement books or watched a lot of content on YouTube or just spoken to people, asked them, or just listened very carefully, the key word that stands out amongst all of them is the word consistency. Sometimes it is as simple as that. What it looks like for every other person can be different, but consistency is key, as they always say. I've spoken a lot about my goals and what my goals are, and there's quite a few that I want to achieve. But I guess the first one, the most important one, is getting my health and fitness right and getting in better mental and physical shape. The reason I'm doing that in particular is that for the past 10 years or so, ever since I finished school, gone to uni, and started working, it's one of those things that I've just overlooked. I've still played a lot of sport. I've still been active, I go on regular walks and all those things. But there are times where I've said I've wanted to go to the gym and I haven't gone to the gym. Even when I go running, there's maybe a patch where I'm consistently at it and then, yeah, just drops away. So, in terms of more what I would like to achieve in terms of my fitness goals, very much wanting to play cricket and footy. Again, I obviously want to play those sports, but more specifically, what I want to achieve. So, for cricket, I certainly want to be batting higher up the order, and I also want to be bowling more overs in games. So again, setting a program and setting goals and doing things that will help me achieve those goals. So what have I got to do that? Obviously, get my fitness to a baseline, but then practice bowling in the nets, but also with my batting, just working on my technique. Similar for footy, I see myself more as a forward midfield type. So what do I need to do to prepare for that type of role? Again, you've got to be footy fit, and trains are going to be strong, going to be quick, get the endurance and the aerobic capacity up, do all those things. But it's working on goal kicking, it's all those things. That's probably an indicator of that area. Another area is in terms of my financial goals and getting my finances right. At this point in time, the last couple of months have been really, really expensive. It's been that time where you have your car registration, car insurance. A lot of my annual fees happen in February, March, so paying them off, but it sort of takes a big hit to the saving. But then again, there's that opportunity to say, okay, well, are there some things where I can cut back a bit? Are there things that I'm currently spending money on that I'm not really utilizing or making the most of, like subscriptions and that? So good opportunity to focus on that. But in terms of the goals that I'm setting, some of the goals that I want to achieve for this, and my wife and I are looking to start a family, so we need to start preparing for that. And what does that practically look like? And then there's also those other things like the holidays that you want to go on, and you've got to save for all those things. Another one on top of that, and I've sort of spoken around it, was just prioritizing the things that really matter most and the things that you just have to make time for. So, but spending time with friends, spending time with family, going on that trip, whether it's, or for me, whether that's going to the footy more often, or going to a major event, or going to see the wrestling like I did in Perth last year. Those are things that you've just got to make time for. And I guess the final one, which falls under that sort of work career, is I'm sort of moving away from that. Yes, you've got to do things to earn money to pay the bills and whatnot. But for me, I also just want to prioritize what I really want to be doing. And that is definitely down the content creation route. Yeah, starting this vlog is very much a step in that right direction. So in time, when I look back at this video and go, yeah, I'm glad you started then, that's what I'm hoping to do. But I'm also hoping that this can generate opportunities that can, yeah, allow me to live a very balanced life, a life that I really want to live, but also do work that I really enjoy doing. So that's what, yeah, this is going to be about. This is very much my own self-improvement journey, starting to document how I go from this point onwards. Glad that I'm starting this time around because, as I've mentioned before, there's been a few false starts. Finally, have I get going. Not let perfect be the enemy of the good, and with that, be comfortable that I will be able to get better, grow, and yeah, see how I achieve my goals over time. I do appreciate everyone who's tuned in and watched this video, whether at the start or at whatever stage. But yeah, really appreciate you tuning in. So yeah, we'll crack on with the day and get a few things done before we head down and watch the footy.